Tomorrow is Halloween. I'm already ready. I'm already ready for Halloween. So I got the Halloween background. Hope y'all are having a fun time tomorrow night. Um, I might do I might if I go out, right? I don't know if people really doing candy this year. Somebody posted that Halloween candy was $26 a bag. You know how you used to get the bag of candy and they have like the Snickers or they have like the mix type of brands, $26. So I don't know where they were shopping, but it ain't going down like that. So I might do the adult Halloween and we might go bar crawl a little bit. Because Midtown Atlanta, I don't know if y'all know, Atlanta is a bar scene. It's not a club place, it's a bar scene. So if I do, I'll make sure to take some pictures and post them somewhere on social media. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a good show for today. A lot is happening, right? Yes, there's a Shiloh Sanders trade watch. Now, we already talked about how Andrew Berry is missing in action, but it came out today that it seems that Andrew Berry's twin brother, Adam, who's vice president of football operations and strategy for the Eagles, that team, the Eagles, is hot and heavy to trade for Myles Garrett, giving up three picks or three people. Either way, people saying it's not gonna happen, but the fact that it's Andrew Berry's twin brother's team, and I don't know if y'all pay attention, but like Kenny Pickett came from Philly, DTR went to Philly. I have a feeling that Shedeur probably could end up in Philly the same way. And remember, during the draft, everybody kept saying how Philly was interested in Shedeur. It's that twin brother connection. It seems like these two guys have the license to make some things happen. So one of the reasons we maybe have not seen Myles Garrett not Myles Garrett, Andrew Berry is maybe because he over there working. I don't know. They said normally he does a press conference, but he went MIA. So it's kind of true that it came out that Myles Garrett basically said he's not holding his tongue. He let it be known he was upset that Kevin Stefanski took him out the game with 2 minutes left, just like Kevin Stefanski did Shedeur. And I asked the question, retaliation? I told y'all they was going to retaliate against Myles Garrett. And then what happened, right? They thought he was going to feel some type of way when they started. The Minions came out early this week talking about he should be traded, this, that, and the other. He shouldn't have signed here, this, that, and the other. Let me tell you what Myles Garrett said today. I did not re-sign with the Browns to be a scapegoat. I re-signed because, of the intent to win. He letting them know, y'all could go play with somebody else. Shout out to Myles Garrett, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if they get him up out of there because why? They want total control, dominion over the locker room, the black players. They don't want, speaking up for Shedeur, Myles Garrett already gravitated to Shedeur, didn't hesitate about Shedeur. Somebody tried to put out a story that he was trashing Shedeur. I said, see, you trying to drive a wedge between Myles Garrett and Shedeur, but you want to trade Myles Garrett because you don't like the fact that he exercised his voice, which he's allowed to do. That should tell you how they willing to go through extremes. They don't care about losing. They willing to go through extremes, y'all, to ship out Myles Garrett, separate him from Shedeur, try to drive a wedge between the two of them because they don't want, the players to be like, look, this isn't right. I don't want to be a part of this. And the only way you escape it is if you get booted out like Flacco or choose to leave, or Baker Mayfield, or be lucky like Tyson Campbell. Yeah, maybe the other guy is doing well. Tyson Campbell coming in and Greg Newsome going out. But the organizations seemingly are run like night and day, right? We don't even hear an ounce of toxicity coming out of Jacksonville that's happening with Cleveland. And today, from the Steelers wire, they put out a message that the Steelers front office or whatever ownership is growing frustrated with, of all coaches, Mike Tomlin. Aren't they number one in the division? What are you complaining for? You know what my response was? Blame the black guy. Blame the black guy. They are number one And you're out here putting out messages that you're disgusted with the coach, but nobody's disgusted with Stefanski. Everybody, they want to get rid of Barry. They want to move out Myles Garrett. They don't want to move Shedeur. Two people can't get moved. Well, one, Shedeur. Hell, Dylan could probably get traded next week. So there's this report going around. Somebody told me about it. I actually saw somebody posted. Don't know how true it is, but apparently there's a mall somewhere and there's a Chili's nearby. Apparently, it's reported that Dylan Gabriel and his fiance were out at the same time, possibly shopping or dining with Kevin Stefanski and his wife. So I don't know if that's hey, we got to trade you, let's go hit on and eat, or if that's the same thing like the golf outing. Kevin Stefanski using this opportunity, knowing going out in the Cleveland area or the Ohio area where people know who they are, and probably had on some Browns polo or something, would talk about it. And people were saying, oh my God, he's out with Dylan. I'm like, they was already on the golf course together. I mean, everybody that was on the golf course together is suspect, So one of the people that was on the golf course wasn't even in the game when Dylan got sacked 6 times because they were resting him, which made me go, I'm not really sure if they really like Dylan like that. And I've said it. Dylan is the only quarterback that has a true evaluation that another team could say, hey, let me get Dylan from you. Now, that's not how it would really go. There would be behind the scenes talk, and they'd be like, call up and ask for Dylan. And then maybe they went to dinner because, hey, buddy, y'all cool. And I thought y'all was going to be here, but it looked like another team want to get you. And that's really good for you, Dylan, because it just means your trade stock is up. And that's better because, Shedeur don't have no trade value. So, I just wanted to come on out, we just no hard feelings. We just want to see y'all off in a good way. It could be. I don't know. It could just be what it actually was. Kevin Stefanski doing what he always does, smiling and letting people know I run this. I get this. Dylan is my boy. This is my pick. He's also, when he does that, letting you know that he makes decisions over the GM. That's another reason for Andrew Berry to be hiding, right? So Myles Garrett is not alone. Other people around the league are basically trying to move on while the trade window is open. A player for the Bengals, McKinley, has stated, trade me or release me. I'm like, trade me or release me. In other words, I'm willing to be done. That's the way you have to move in this league. You cannot move in this league like, yes, master. No, you can't do that. And you cannot allow people to trash you and you be silent. Now, Myles is a veteran. I'm not talking about Shedeur. Myles is a veteran, right? With a contract that's probably guaranteed, and he has leverage, and he's exercising that leverage. See, they thought he was gonna cry on the sofa with the ice cream with the freezer burn because they want to boot him out of Cleveland. Don't threaten nobody with a good time, because hell, he could end up in Miami and be fine with it, right? Because it ain't Cleveland. So shout out to Myles Garrett, shout out to McKinley over there and the Bengals organization. He didn't just demand the trade. He said, trade me or release me. I like it. I say good for him. People like, what the hell going on with the Bengals? Then somebody posted on Reddit. They called up to cancel their Bengals season tickets. I was like, Saints fans, intelligent Browns fans, take note. So we're going to look at a post of what he said happened when he called up to cancel his tickets. He said he was met with a defensive attitude by the person on the other end of the phone. Because, their goal is when you want to cancel, they try to offer you something else. So we're going to look at that. But before we get into that, Shiloh Sanders is the blueprint. We talked about this yesterday. Shiloh Sanders is the blueprint for life without the NFL thriving. How to thrive beyond the NFL, even if it's unexpectedly. And I thought about it, right? I noticed, he was in a video with Sharif O'Neal, and I remembered Sharif had to have like open heart surgery, and that kind of had a negative impact on his career. He tried out for the G League. He was in the G League, and you know what he said? Thank you, but no thank you. He decided to pursue other opportunities. He has 1 million followers on TikTok. Shiloh gonna get there. And that's why I said those two can link up every now and then on the podcast and talk about from the basketball world perspective, from the world perspective, from the perspective of being sons of legends in their respective sports, Coach Prime and Shaq. They can share how you can thrive life after these sports. And of course, there's this huge expectation that they will play the same sport that their father played. Now, again, the basketball world is a little different from the football world. And Sharif had a medical event that likely negatively affected his longevity in the league. But Shiloh in the NFL, that's just bedlam over there, right? Fans trying to cancel season tickets. One fan from the Browns said that his season tickets this year was $23,000. And he got a notice that when the new stadium opened, his new seats going up $105,000 for one PSL. He has 5. So I think he said he had 5 tickets. We're going to look at that. I'm like, what the hell are you paying for? Even if it's a business write-off, even if you own a plumbing company or you own an architecture firm or whatever, a construction company, and you want to use this as a write-off, what the hell are you paying for? It's not even good entertainment. In fact, you know what I said today? I watched Norfolk State versus Delaware State. Let me know if y'all know what the score is. I know it's in the 4th quarter, and last I checked, Delaware State was up, but it's a good game. I posted on X while the game was happening. I said, Norfolk State versus Delaware State is greater than NFL games. Yeah. Why? Right? You're around people that are nice, number one, around like-minded individuals. Number 2, the vibe, right? People got on their gear. They happy to be there. Nobody's fussing and complaining. It's a true competition happening on the field. The game is not rigged. They really wanted to see these tunes played. The band was playing. And I even said, is it just me? Or is the DJ going to war with these HBCU bands? Yeah, I kid you not. Somebody liked my post because that must have been what it was. The bands were brought in and the DJ just kept playing Sexy Red and jump, everybody make it, just all this music. And I'm like, why would you bring your band if the DJ just gonna keep playing this music? So then the band start playing. And them bands get loud. So the bands just start playing. Then you couldn't hear, I think Beyonce was in the background. You couldn't hear that. They drowned that out. Then the DJ turned the music up. I was like, bro, what is the point of this being in this stadium if you're just gonna be disrespectful to the HBCU culture? So if you watched it, you let me know if you noticed it. But somebody liked my comment because I don't think it was just me. And then the music got real loud. I'm like, they don't play music at HBCU games. We listen to the band. And this happened before halftime. The bands performed at halftime, and it continued after halftime. And normally the bands like to trade the off. They try to battle across while the game is live, especially in the second half. And they were met with defiance by the DJ. I was like, okay, I think y'all should have played this game in one of y'all stadiums because HBCU attendance is up. And if the NFL keep on, HBCU attendance gonna keep on. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna go and put it out there. That's just probably where I'm gonna be spending my time. Remember, we came into this PWI NFL world with Coach Prime. Right? I started over there at Jackson State when they left Trinity. When they left Dallas, and I'm an HBCU grad, so of course I'm all for it. Right? Oh, I forgot. Somebody's supposed to be dropping off an order and they late. So I might have to run down there and get it. So I might have to let y'all congregate amongst yourselves while I run down, catch the elevator. Oh, okay. Hey, can y'all congregate amongst yourselves? I'm gonna put some music on real fast. I think my order's down there. It's nothing I can do to avoid it. Put some music on and I'll be right back. Taking the elevator down, take the elevator up.
Pushing on the beach. Pushing on the beach.
Okay, so I'm back. Thank y'all so much. Totally unexpected. I ordered something from Instacart early today, right? And I kept getting messages delayed, delayed, delayed. I was like, did I not tip enough, or is it cold outside? And a nice, looked like a college student. So I tipped her extra. She was like, she picked up the order, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to come down there. And we were trying to work it out, but she waited. So thank y'all so much. And if y'all still here, thank y'all for waiting. 156 of us, hit the like button. All right. So don't remember what I was talking about, but I wanted to go into Shiloh, right? So we talk about Sharif O'Neal, Shiloh, how they could talk, how they have a lot to share, right? Kids of Legends, etc. But when Shiloh was at Complex Con, he ran into Zeb. And you probably remember Shiloh saying, this is Zeb. Somebody wanted Shiloh's autograph. He said, no, you want his autograph. Zeb Powell is a black snowboarder. He not just any snowboarder. This dude is good, right? He is good. So Shiloh had already done content with him. So I wanted to share that with y'all tonight. It's already over 300,000 views. And I think he was in Colorado at the time. So check this out, right? Shiloh, I'm not going to say he's going to own the space, but just like, you know, we talked about how these athletes needed to do their own podcast so they could share their unique voice rather than us just hearing from these minions that never played the sport, that's just trying to push the narrative, the genuineness of their stories. Same extends to their kids, because I don't know if y'all recall, but there were several legends like Jerry Rice, Coach Prime, Terrell Owens, Frank Gore Jr., Frank Gore Sr., all of their kids were cut by the NFL. Now, I think Ryan Clark's son was cut. Asante Samuel Jr., Asante Samuel's son, is still waiting for a spot. All of the Black Legends' sons, for the most part, got waived. I think Ryan Clark's son got picked up and put on a practice squad. So DNA is not the goal, right? Remember, DNA, one time they wanted the DNA because it ensured that you're getting legacy, that they're probably going to be as good or can be developed to be as good as their parent, but they have the same DNA, right? Well, in the NFL, this is why I say the NFL is like night and day from the NBA. So Shiloh, I believe, can grow in this space, connect with other legends of kids, be the blueprint for kids of legends. So let's take a look at this video with Shiloh and Zeb Powell shredding in Aspen. That's what it's called. These guys, I don't think there's anything Shiloh can't do. He can, he ran into Quavo, right? He said he was going to send Quavo some beats. That's content right there. There's not a day that can go by that Shiloh doesn't have something of value to present with content. Like, this is truly a blueprint for him. And he definitely has the personality, right?
Hey, I didn't see the rail. Hey, cut that out. I bet you got that.
Woo, this is good. I'm telling you, I got to clip this guy.
All right, Zeb. I need to learn how to do a rail, bro. I need to learn how to do a rail.
All these rails aren't really the one.
All right, not this one. Give me like an easy rail to learn how to do.
Yeah, I'll point one out
By
to
the time
you.
we leave today, I'm gonna do a rail.
Yeah, we got that for sure. Let's just hit this roller right here.
I don't know.
So this is just the beginning for Shiloh. This is why in the caption it says, in the title, Shiloh is the blueprint. Shiloh is the blueprint, not just for his own brother, Shedeur. He's the blueprint for Jerry Rice's son, Terrell Owens' son, Frank Gore Jr.'s son, Asante Samuel's son. It's not a coincidence these players didn't get these opportunities. And they said that Frank Gore Jr. and Terrell Owens' son were actually doing pretty good. So
After like compression,
which
you're locked in. Check it out.
So Zeb is showing Shiloh,
Oh, man, I know I'm about to fall,
tricks
bro.
and tips on how to snowboard, but the video was already over, I think, 300,000, which was last year. I think this was last year.
All right, where at?
So I don't know if y'all saw it, but I just wanted to share that so y'all can know Shiloh was already on the path. And shout out to Coach Prime, because what did Coach Prime basically teach the athletes when Travis and Shedeur and them were there? He was the reason. He was like, y'all got to get y'all social media, right? The king of marketing himself made sure he even taught an NIL class that they had a social media presence. So that's Shiloh already had content to stand on as a foundation for right now. So shout out to Shiloh. And I have a clip somewhere. Zeb Power might share it tomorrow. Don't know if y'all in the snowboarding, but he's good. He's good. And I don't know if he's the first black snowboarder or not. I know he's good. Like, he's exceptional good, right? And we bring that athleticism to the sport, and that's what Zeb Powell has brought to snowboarding. Like, I'm sure I know snowboarding was already doing tricks and things like that, but this just a little different. It is elevated athleticism. That's really what it is, right? So go check that out. That's Shiloh's page. That's the title is Shiloh Sanders and Zeb Powell. It was 1 year ago, and it's over 300,000 views. So go check it out and make sure y'all hit the like button. And I don't know if they have the hype button on older videos, but it's out there. It is definitely out there. So here's my question for y'all. Okay, so since I was watching Norfolk State and watching Delaware State, I was like, I wonder, do you think coaching is a good route? Like, should Shiloh go coach HBCU, or is it just best to just don't even worry about football? Just go this route, right? Like, I don't hear about Sharif O'Neal trying to coach. I think he's trying to get a role like in TV or doing some kind of modeling or acting, right? He's tall. Same thing for Shiloh. We already heard about him going that route, signing with an agency. So it seems like to me that these guys are getting to a place where they no longer feel the need to pursue the athletic sport, but move on. And content creation is the backbone, right? With Sharif having 1 million TikTok followers, and he has other platforms too, but I checked, he has 1 million TikTok platform, and y'all know TikTok is super popular. That makes him desirable by marketers and things like that. And Shiloh is going to get there. I think he's going to get there. So Shiloh's the blueprint. Shiloh's the blueprint for a number of reasons. This is why I said, Coach, I need to bring Shiloh in. And I also said that the conversation is going to have to change, right? Shiloh is also the blueprint for players coming behind him at CU who have a football scholarship and have the talent, but they just don't have the passion, or they already know I'm not going to be in that top group to get drafted, or that's not really what I want. I'm happy to play the game I love at this level, but I want to do something else. I want to own my own company. Shiloh, this is why Coach Prime should bring in Shiloh to talk to those kids who are multi-talented and have passions outside of football, and understand that you can go hard in college and give it your all with the intent of doing something totally different afterwards. It doesn't mean, that you waste your time just to get the scholarship. No. Play the game of football that you love with the end in mind at the last game for CU, and move on to the things that feed your passions. That's why I don't think Shiloh should go to that. I mean, I thought about it. I was like, it seems like if you just got to stay around the sport. But this whole content creation lane, like, to be honest with you, I think this is a better route. You let me know your thoughts. You just let me know your thoughts about that. Okay, so I have a lot I actually wanted to share that I put together. I wanted to check the score too of the game. Does anybody know the score of the game? Let's see if I can find out right fast. Norfolk State versus, did anybody watch it? Am I the only person on this podcast that watched it? I hope not. And I don't know how I feel about them playing in the NFL stadium. I'm not even sure that was necessary, but because again, Norfolk State already had 49,000 in attendance at their own damn game. Oh, here we go. Final score, 27-20. So it was a close game. It wasn't a blowout. Shout out to Norfolk State. Shout out to Delaware State. I don't know what made them decide to play in Philly. Maybe because the coaches played in Philly, but they could have played this, on their own turf. People took airplanes to get to this game from different locations. So I think they would have done the same. It is a nice experience, but the whole DJ going to war with the band, that's disrespectful. That means that whoever set this up, set it up, but they didn't really care to allow the HBCU experience to thrive. It was more about come play this football game here and not worry about your culture. So hopefully they fired that DJ because that was hella disrespectful. If you don't know what happened, maybe people will talk about it tomorrow. But the DJ was trying to drown out the HBCU bands, and that's the no-no. That's an absolute no-no. And just in case y'all don't know, Shedeur went live today at 8:00. He was on his Twitch stream with his teammate Devin Bush. And they were just answering questions and talking. And I think on this one, he was talking about his Madden rating. He said he don't know how it went down. So he just gets on Twitch and answers questions and talk about things he want to talk about. It's not too long. It's actually not like it's hours long. So just turn your notifications on or sign up for Twitch. It's free. That way you can always tap into Shedeur's, his live stream. He doesn't go live on any other platform. I noticed he only goes live on Twitch, and it's free. So you can get it and follow Shedeur and turn your notifications on. All right. So let's get into these curated things that I found today. I actually take my time and look at things that I know that speak to what we're already talking about, and then at the same time add value to the conversation. All right, so let's get into it, and then we'll get into the comments. But yeah, shout out to Myles Garrett for speaking his mind and not holding back. And yeah, it probably was. Why would you take Myles Garrett out the game with 2 minutes left? That's what he was upset about. And I'm glad he clarified that because they were trying to crucify his reputation. All right, so here we go. All right, so this was the person. I said good for him. It said McKinley Jackson has requested a trade or to be released. What's going on in Cincinnati? I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. Players are like, look, I'm not just going to be over here like a prisoner, because I don't know if y'all remember, but I think it was a Texas owner at one point said we can't have the inmates running the prison because that's how they were feeling about the players. And it seems like the players, whether it's Myles Garrett or McKinley Jackson or other players, are speaking up about the things, the way their reputations are being tarnished, or how it is that the teams just seemingly don't prioritize winning. And for Myles Garrett to speak up and then to be taken, after being taken out the game with the last 2 minutes, what's wrong with that? Like he say, I didn't come here to be anyone else's scapegoat. You have to respect that. You have that's what we want from these players. Just like people were shout out to Russell Wilson for speaking up against Sean Payton. Shout out to Myles Garrett for speaking up against the Browns, right? Because we know over there, it just seems like intimidation rules the day. Shout out to the fans who calling up to cancel their season tickets. Shout out to the fans exposing how tickets for the new Brown Stadium going up $105,000. For what? You got to be crazy out of your mind. I could see if this was the Philadelphia Eagles and you could write it off for business, but it's probably going to be entertaining or something. You're going to get some value out of it. You're not getting anything. You're not getting anything out of this other than wasting your time and your money. Because you tell me, can you imagine paying $105,000 for to see the Browns? I can't even imagine paying $100 to see the Browns. I won't even waste my time watching their highlights. Like, what for? I could see if Shedeur was out there, right? And they were actually letting him play a real game and not trying to set him up to fail, because that's all they're doing. It's just trying to control and subdue the players, whether it's Myles Garrett or Shiloh Sanders. It's insane. So who's paying $105,000 for that? And I don't know why these owners feel like their product is like that. That they could just, whether it's the Jets, jack up the prices and they 1-7, or if it's the Browns and they 2-6 or whatever the hell it is. Last year 3-14. This year they trying to go the same thing. And you want to raise, you telling people in advance, oh, to get to the new stadium, it's going to be $100,000 more. You would keep that. You would be in there by yourself. And that's what the fans need to do. And shout out to the fans trying to cancel their season tickets for the Bengals, the Browns, the Saints. Fans need to do the same thing. You call up there and cancel them damn tickets, get that money back. Like, it's crazy out here. And it's just arrogance. I'm like, y'all don't even have a good product. So, you know, they talked about HBCU football being boring. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'll tell you what's boring. Watching Dylan versus Tua. That's what's boring. Watching Tyler Shaw versus anybody. That's going to be boring. Right? Nope. And then it's asinine to have a conversation that excludes the Super Bowl MVP and one of the best teams and best quarterback play out here, Jalen Hurts, from the top 5 MVP quarterbacks. He's not even on the list. They put Pat Mahomes up there, I guess, to shut the black people up. And then everybody else is like Matt Stafford or Drake May or Daniel Jones or somebody else. I'm like, so y'all got one black quarterback up here, and it's not even Jalen Hurts. And somebody put in the comments, that's because Jalen Hurts got 2 black parents. I was like, I have trained y'all well. All I could do was like it. My job is pretty much done. Everything seems to be working autopilot. Everything that I have been saying for months, other people I don't even know are saying it. So all I do is like and repost. I don't have to keep saying it over and over and over, because now it has been picked up and other people are running with the baton. There you go. That's how it goes. I don't have to keep repeating myself over and over and over, because it is the time that people will see it for themselves. Remember what I said, or what read something similar to what I said, and just put it out there. See, that's what they tried to do. Weaponize the media against us by pushing false narratives over and over and over till it just seeps into your consciousness. Well, now I just repeat the truth over and over and over and over to counteract that. And then people take it and run with it, and it sticks because it fits reality. See, the narrative they tried to put about Myles Garrett wasn't this, that, and the other, he needed to be traded, that kind of fell to the wayside. And then Myles Garrett came out of himself and said, I ain't gonna be nobody's. I didn't re-sign here for that. He had an opportunity to speak to his own reputation rather than the one they were trying to paint. Well, he shouldn't have signed his contract. People were like, just because he signed his contract don't mean he signed up to lose. I'm sure there were conversations on what it was they were going to do. Myles Garrett is represented by Clutch Sports Group, by the way. So he has leverage because they talked about some things. And Clutch Sports Group can go back to Andrew Berry and say, look, this is what you said was going to happen. You were bringing in a quarterback. You're not playing that quarterback. You're not trying to win. And he has grounds to move on. So he might end up in Philly. I wish people were this enthusiastic about trading Shedeur, because, you know, we can't even get a trade conversation going around about him. The moment you talk about Shedeur being traded, oh, we're not trading him. But you don't want to play him either. So they just holding him for ransom, basically. That's just what it is. They just holding him for ransom. All right, so that's the rumor. Myles Garrett to the Eagles for 3 first-round picks. I don't even know when Philly would even have 3 first-round picks because they at the top. So I don't know. I don't know if that's far-fetched or not. But remember, Andrew Berry is over there. His brother, twin brother Adam, is over there. So it could happen because they've traded recently with Philly. So this is the Reddit post right here. It says, if you canceled your season tickets, how'd it go? This is supposed to be like the Bengals. It said, I called today to cancel my Bengals season tickets for the next year. And the whole conversation felt super guilt trippy and argumentative. It said, I was asked if I only wanted to be a season ticket holder when we got to the playoffs. And am I just being emotional for losing to the Jets? This might be just for clicks, but we're still going to read it anyway. It says, They asked, why was I unhappy? So I said that I'm frustrated with the front office, mainly the lack of a real scouting department, bad drafts, and how the prices keep going up steeply every year since I joined. Said instead of just taking the feedback, they got defensive and said things like, this is the front office who drafted Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. So, in other words, nothing changed over here. The last thing being asked to me was if I wanted cheap tickets or to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So, personally, though, people are trying to figure out how to get out of their tickets. So, if you know anything about Reddit, Reddit will take something and just run with it and put it out there. But shout out to people who are actually trying to cancel their tickets. I don't even know if at 9 games in, can you still really cancel your season tickets? If anybody has season tickets or have canceled them or understand the process, let us know. So right here, just like I said, report Steelers ownership growing frustrated and impatient with Mike Tomlin. They are number one in the division, right? Aren't they number one in the division? Let's look right fast. And why is nobody growing impatient with Kevin Stefanski? Answer that question. NFL standings. We got the Eagles, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Seahawks in the National Football Conference. And then in the American Conference, we have the Patriots, the Steelers. The Steelers are up 4-3, right? They won 4 games, lost 3. The Bengals have won 3 games and lost 5. The Steelers are on a 2-game losing streak. So you're going to want to fire Mike Tomlin for a 2-game losing streak? How many games have the Browns lost? They 2-6. They lost 1 game. I guess they won 1, and then they lost 1. But they've only won 2 games, and you don't hear anybody trying to fire Kevin Stefanski or Harbaugh with the Ravens. You would think the Ravens fans would be beside themselves, knowing that they have Lamar Jackson over there. And they're saying Lamar Jackson could come back. Maybe they can make a bid for the Super Bowl. You know they don't want that, right? They don't want that. But of all the coaches, nobody is trying to fire the Bengals coach. I don't even know who that is. And you got a player saying, trade me or just release me altogether and I'll be done. Nobody's trying to fire Harbaugh, the Ravens coach. And the Ravens were a powerhouse, right? Even though I feel like they got cheated, but they were a powerhouse. And they comfortable with 2-5. And now the Browns, well, always the Browns, 2-6. None of them is on the hot seat, but the one that's leading the damn division, who, if I had to guess, is the only black head coach in this group of 4. Blame the black guy. That's what's going on. I have said it. There is an all-out assault on black leadership, including the quarterback position, especially black starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Throw Mike Tomlin in there. And we've talked about that, right? We talked about how we felt like Mike Tomlin's power was already stripped away from him. Now he's winning, but it's not enough. Reminder, Brian Flores got fired after a winning season because he refused to tank. That's what they say. So that's that. Now, I don't know if y'all want to talk about this or not, but I'm going to show it to you. As you can see, Arizona has 1 person out. Colorado has an offensive unit and a defensive unit out. People are like, what is going on? So, now I know things change. But I have no idea why does it start like this every week? Are people being coaxed into playing? So let's talk about who's on his list. Again, I'm wondering if these people are injured or redshirting. Hakeem Williams, Makari Vickers, Simeon Price, Xavier Hill, Walker Anderson, Christian Hudson, and Alexander McPherson. I wonder if he's going to get out of here. They said that was the new phenom. So I'm curious to know. I haven't heard any reports about people redshirting, but maybe this is the new way. Instead of redshirting, you just kind of be injured. And then doubtful, Amari McNeil and Tofty Thomas. I feel like that's almost like 2 weeks in a row. Questionable, Tion Parks, RJ Johnson. That's your two cornerbacks right there. Sincere Brown, Isaiah Harge, and Braden Keith. So one of our fastest receivers are out. Isaiah Harge just got playing. No, Isaiah Harge, yeah, he just got playing time. They use him spotty. I guess he out, maybe. And Braden Keith, that's a cornerback. I'm not sure who that is. Probable, we have Carter Stoudemire, Jeremiah Brown. That's shocking. Larry Johnson III, he can stay gone. Atita, that's Yaya. What's going on with him? And Zach Atkins, that's the tight end. And Brandon Davis Swain, that's the phenom they thought we were going to see this year. So I don't know. Yeah, guys, I don't know. Y'all feel free to shed light on to it. Now, one of the things that I heard about was I watched Bucky's live stream earlier today. Like about 10 a.m. this morning, Bucky went live, and he was talking about I guess there was a Zach guy running around kind of trashing Shedeur, saying all of his problems. They trying to paint the narrative that Shedeur's draft stock began to tank because he lied and said that they asked him not to play in the Shrine Bowl. So what did I tell y'all yesterday? They're trying to paint the picture that absolves the owners from colluding against Shedeur in the draft. You got Carly Ursay running out here trying to look like owner of the year to sell the point that she is one of the few owners that gives a damn about the team, that knows what's going on, because the rest of them don't know what's going on. So how can I collude against Shedeur if I don't know what's going on? What you're seeing is what I've said has been happening. First, they had to take care of discovery. You sell off NFL Network that aggressively defamed Shedeur. I mean, aggressively, to the point where one of the reporters that was at the Shrine Bowl or CU Pro Day, Bucky Brooks, can be heard on camera telling Shedeur, well, you know, we have to do that for ratings, berate him, defame him for ratings. That's documented. That's already out there. And it was on social media, so other people have a copy of it. That's one. So after this lawsuit came out for $100 million, NFL Network that aggressively defamed Shedeur gets sold off to ESPN, and then the NFL gets 10% stake in ESPN. In my opinion, that's a conflict of interest because ESPN was already doing the NFL's bidding, and now they have even more so of a reason to do so because they're in cahoots together for sure. Before it was speculation. Now it's 100%. Oh, y'all work for the same company, so y'all sharing the same information. And I've said that, you know, the discovery, you know, the request would be for the NFL Network, not for ESPN to turn over certain documents. And you can give it to ESPN to massage, clean, or lose and say, oh, I didn't know. Because, you know, data got to change hands, so to speak, right? So there's an out there. Now what we're seeing is how to absolve the owners, right? From what we could see, it's a lot of a-holes in this, right? We talked yesterday about the Cowboys. We talked about Jerry Jones' statement and how the reason I'm talking to you on the phone about $100 billion with a B, $100 billion in natural gas in the ground. I'm not trying to fix the Dallas Cowboys defense because this is more important. This is my greatest investment. The oil rigs, the natural gas, that's his greatest investment, not the Cowboys. Dez Bryant was the player that said this probably 10 years ago. And people chewed him up and spit him out. How dare you have the audacity to say that the Cowboys are not trying to win? 2025, Jerry Jones says it out of his own mouth. See, everybody got a lot of courage right now. And what did I say? Let me find out that Haslam is in that same natural gas business. Sure is. I looked it up last night. In 2023, I told y'all he want to be the next Jerry Jones. That's why he got to start over there in Cleveland. And quid pro quo, Deshaun Watson is how he got that damn stadium. It might be hard to prove, but then again, not necessarily, because they sloppy. They so bold with it that they untouchable. That's how they move. For Jerry Jones to be reckless to say he not trying to fix the Dallas Cowboys defense, but can those players go out there and try not to win? What's going to happen to them? So essentially the team becomes a petting zoo in Dallas. And now in 2023, the Haslam creates an investment arm and they tap into the natural gas and they got like 3,400 wells. They don't give a damn about that team. The team is just a toy. See, if Jerry Jones moves out of the football space and just take his hands out the football pot and just go over here and focus on what's coming out the earth, we wouldn't be talking about him. This way he stays front and center and relevant and talked about and a celebrity. And then I get to meddle in people's lives and I take pleasure in just playing with people's lives. Right? It's obvious the Browns don't want Shedeur to be of value to him at all. And he can be. So they playing with his life because Haslam told you, he was my pick. You know he not Stefanski pick because he keeps showing you that. He keep doing things to let you know, I don't give a damn what Shedeur do. This is my pick right here. But he not just thumbing his nose up at Shedeur. He's thumbing his nose up at Andrew Berry. They're not just trying to get rid of Mike Tomlin. They trying to get rid of Andrew Berry. That's why you ain't seen him. Yeah, I know I say he busy, but they say he have a press conference every year. But instead of firing Kevin Stefanski, they want to fire Mike Tomlin. They want to fire Andrew Berry. Blame the black guy. But that's on Andrew Berry. So, Shiloh's the blueprint. We'll be fine without football. And again, Coach Prime need to bring in Shiloh to talk to these players because everybody's not going. And it doesn't make sense to pretend that everybody's going, right? People think that the reason that the team has already quit on Coach Prime is because they know they ain't going. They see what happened to Shedeur. Then they give it they all, and they see what's happening with Pat Schumer. They see what's happening with the defense. Now, again, people out here who don't really know what's going on blame Coach Prime and the coaches like Mathis and Hart. But they have no smoke for who we know is the problem on offense. And who is that? Pat Schumer. The same thing happening in Colorado is happening in the NFL. I got smoke for Andrew Berry. I got smoke for Mike Tomlin. But I don't have no smoke for the real problem, Kevin Stefanski. So Pat Schumer's safe. Kevin Stefanski safe. On the chopping block, or will be held to humiliate, tied to contracts that they're going to have to retire from and move out the sport or out the league. Whether it's college football. If Coach Prime wanted to leave right now, he'd have to pay a buyout. And then maybe he could go somewhere else. But where is that going to be? And to be honest with you, I'm going to just say it. I think Coach Prime should be done with the PWIs. I think the PWIs did to Coach Prime what they always do, what they did to Herm Edwards. I said that in year one. Oh, they trying to Herm Edwards, Coach Prime. Set him up to fail. Whether it was in year one, give away his plays so he could get fired, knowing that Coach Prime was only the fourth black head coach in the 136 years of football over there, or however many years, over 100 years. They knew that if they set Coach Prime up to fail year one, that year two, with Pat Schumer coming in, setting it up to fail, he would have been done. But just like Shedeur is still in Cleveland, despite them trying to push him out, Coach Prime remained in Colorado for year three, despite them trying to set him up from year one to be gone by the end of year two. So Coach Prime and Shedeur have remained despite people trying to push them out. Shiloh is still running it up despite the NFL pushing him out. Now, I don't like to tell people what it is they need to believe, but you could look at the three of them right there and see you're not going to hurt them. So you wasting your time. One thing we know about the Sanders men, or maybe the family, but we see the men more often, right? They don't tell you what their next move going to be. You don't even pick up on what they thinking. As far as I bet $10, I bet you good money. I bet you good money. The Browns thinking Shedeur somewhere sniveling and crying because he gonna get out here and play, and they probably gonna sit up there and at the last minute let Kevin Stefanski say, "Put Bailey Zapp in, or don't. Shedeur is inactive." It wouldn't surprise me if all 4 games he's supposed to play in, if he inactive from every last one of them, or they put him in for 10 minutes and take him out. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not expecting Shedeur to get a fair chance at this stage of the game. We expected that when he was a rookie in rookie minicamp, and it didn't happen. We expected it again after he got in the Panthers game, and we saw where Stefanski tried to set him up on 4th and 1. And he still went on to win. And they don't give a damn. And now that people talk about the Panthers game, they want to talk about the Panthers game. Oh, everybody want to talk about this one game with Shedeur, but he only played against the 4s. I said, false. That's lies. Shedeur played also against the 1s. See, they all working together to devalue him and say he not good. Trade him. All podcasters that hear this and see this, all should have trade Shiloh Sanders in their damn caption. That's all they should be calling for. Because if you're not going to play him, then trade him. And at this point, it seems like to me that Kevin Stefanski is going to make sure that Shedeur knows every day that he's not of value and has no place here. So I don't see that changing anytime soon unless somebody going to fire Stefanski. And again, Haslam just told you last week. What'd he say? Stefanski done good work for us. It damn sure ain't in the organization with the team. Everybody associated with this league that either owns a team or as a coach, they all being bold. Bring Gruden in to the Bengals and let him coach the Bengals. I don't even know who the Bengals coach is. I said, why would you bring that man back knowing he was kicked out because he was racist? Talking about it would be fun to have him back. I said, fun for who? You know what they trying to do? They're trying to tell black fans, black players, black coaches, black leadership, the same thing corporate America is trying to tell black people. You don't have no place here no more. And there's no protections for us to keep you, so bye. Thankfully, we got a lot of doctors, lawyers, judges, entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, all kind of stuff. They think we're a monolith. We don't all work in corporate America. So they think that kicking out black people, whether it's from the federal workforce or the private sector workforce, that all of our houses don't go up in foreclosure. That's what they think. They also thought that we was by now was gonna run out into the streets and do what? We voted. Every time they think they know what we gonna do, they are the ones that's huffing and puffing. They are the ones that are upset about this is happening, that is happening. This the same thing with Shedeur. I saw Shedeur on his Twitch, say he wasn't going back to CU homecoming because, he got treatment out here and he can't be he's still working on his music. I'm happy he's being himself. Absolutely. Be yourself. But on the inside, his bags might be mentally packed and ready to go join Shiloh. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Because by the time guys swing that door wide open, for Shedeur, he ain't gonna look back. He not, because it's gonna get to a point where he gonna be like, okay, they're not gonna give me a fair chance, and I'm losing money by being here. But then again, he was selling jerseys, so that kind of helped him to wait well, because he was making money despite them trying not to. Meaning he was still running it up. He don't need money from his dad, like they thought he was gonna need, because he came in here and sold these jerseys. They knew he was gonna sell jerseys, but not that many. But mentally, he's saying, I got to be big ready. People were trying to decipher, what does that mean? It means Shedeur understands the assignment. It means after the Rams game, after the Panthers game, after the way he's been iced out on the sideline, how people have been intimidated to stay away from him or retaliated against for coming to him, how he was set up to be sacked, how the O-line probably don't gravitate towards him. They gravitate towards Dylan, possibly. That maybe I have to not just play a mistake-free game, but I got to be 2 times, 3 times, 4 times better than Dylan to even be considered at all. But the Rams game taught us that ain't gonna matter either, because you just played and won versus the Panthers, and I know he knows that. He know he got to come out here and ball out, not so they can change their minds, so the fans can rally around him and hold the Browns accountable. He got to be big ready, because he know the assignment. He knows the fans are gonna try to set him up. We know that. So if we know it, he know it. He know that they're gonna try to saddle him with nothing but check downs. What did his father tell him? Use them check downs. Everybody else using it. So that takes the pressure off to go out there and throw it all the time. We know the players want to win with Shedeur. We know that. So he already got the players on their side, despite the heavy hand that Stefanski trying to rule with, or the toxic culture. He knows big ready means I'm probably going to only get one opportunity to get it right. Because if I go out here and I succumb to the plot that they have planned for me, it's going to be all downhill from there. And then they're going to trade me for QB3. And I'm going to go to another team and the clock going to start. But then if I go out here and, like in the Panthers game, I overcome the plot and the trap that Stefanski has set up for me, knowing he was using some of the other players, then my trade value is up. And I don't care if y'all don't play me. There's no reason why another team shouldn't want to trade for me at the end of this season. So Shedeur is not playing to convince Stefanski, Haslam, Berry of any damn thing. Shedeur is playing to give the fans a leg to stand on, to probably push for him to be traded, or at least hold people accountable for still colluding against him, because this is not the preseason and he balled out and y'all didn't even help to develop him. He had to self-develop. He only need one game. And to be honest with you, that's probably the most I will play. The last one. I wouldn't care if they make me inactive for game 1 of the 4, game 2 of the 4, game 3 of the 4. Because I know game 4, I'm going to get out there. I don't care if it's for 2-minute drill, or if it's in between, before the 2-minute drill, like they did in the Rams game to snatch me out. I'm going to ball the hell out. Because I'm going to give the fans and another team a reason to come get me and force me out of there. We're going to see, though, because we know they still colluding at the top. And people been talking. The culture starts at the top. And it's toxic up there, because that's who took Shedeur off the board. And they haven't found a way to absolve the owners just yet. They trying, though. So let me see what y'all are saying. There are 220 of us. Let me see what y'all are saying. Welcome, everybody. And thank y'all for being patient while I had to go get my unexpected order, delayed order. But the girl was really nice. Hey, Gail, how you doing? How you doing? 420, how you doing? Hey, Peter, how you doing? Amber, Welcome back, Tina. Welcome back, Val. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Sharon. Welcome back, Kenya Martin. It said what she said. Sports. What other coaches at CU contracts in 2025? Pat or who else? I don't know. To be honest, I only knew about Pat because I looked it up, and I know that Doc Livingston just got a new contract. I'm not really worried about the rest of them because if the rest of them were there when they went 9-4, then maybe it wasn't them, right? Because it's crazy to say that Shedeur did all of that, right? And over here in Cleveland, they could get away with this. So people think Coach Prime has blind loyalty, meaning he's kept 2 or 3 coaches around because they're black, because they came with him from truth, and they're not good. But see, here's the thing. Somebody said it today. They said the last time Shedeur had a good O-line, he was at Jackson State. Didn't those coaches coach at Jackson State? So this is why I'm not shocked that people discount Jackson State because they discount the Panthers game. I want to see what he could do. You already saw it. And I guarantee you, he can go out there and play for the Jets. They can knock Dylan out on the ground. They can knock Bailey Zapp out on the ground. Shedeur don't have to get in there. And if he get in there and win, I promise you. Well, that's not enough, right? I need to see a whole game. And then game 2. And against like the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals. Those supposed to be tough. They don't even want Dylan playing against the Ravens by himself. Even though I think they cheated. But I don't know if they would cheat at this moment because it's getting late in the season. And I would imagine the Ravens fans got to be upset about what's happening, right? The Steelers, I think they got to play again. The Steelers not going to want to lose. Not because Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat, because he's not. They just want to get rid of him and will make up an excuse to do so, just like they making up an excuse to hold back Shedeur. So to me, the games that Shedeur is going to play are the ones they don't want Dylan to play. They want Dylan to play against the Jets. But they'll go out there and rig all of these games so Dylan will look good and Shedeur will look horrible. Yeah. Yeah. But it's only so much you can do because, the players. It's only so much you could do. But I feel like when people say, what does Shedeur mean when he says he got to be big ready? I feel like one, it's a slow news day and they need something to talk about. 2, it just means he understands the assignment. And he ain't going to tell you what everything he got to do. We already know he dedicated to his craft. That ain't even new. So that's not what it means. He has to defeat everything that's going on. He has to defeat the politics that's happening against him. He has to defeat the racism that's happening against him. People are starting to realize Shedeur is a child of God and God keep protecting Shedeur. Facts. Shedeur is on a very public stage with 4 million, 6 million fans. I checked. Gunna has 5.9 on one platform. So I think Gunna is more global. But if Shedeur were playing, he'd be there. He'd be right there. But that's why he's not playing. So Shedeur has to just go out there and let God's will be done. Don't let him hurt you. Don't try to use them check downs. Let the chips fall where they may. Do not try to manipulate the outcome in any way, shape, or form. Just go out there and play and let God fight the battle. Because understand this. If he go out there and do what he's supposed to do, and he can't overcome it for whatever reason, God don't want him to. We know the Browns don't have an O-line, and they let their precious Dylan get sacked 6 times. And Boitano, who was on the golf course, Boitonio, who was on the golf course with Dylan, was resting on the side. Now, what you think gonna happen with Shedeur? With that crew that let Dylan get sacked 6 times? That's why I question, is Dylan the one that's about to be traded off? And that's why they was at the Chili's? It's possible. Stefanski lie every day, so you don't really know if he liked Dylan or not. From what I've seen, I question it. I question it. Dylan's trade value is not a third round. He's the number 25 ranked. No, he is a 25 QBR. He ranked number 32 out of 32 quarterbacks. If anything, Kevin Stefanski should have scheduled a teams meeting with him so they could fire him. Hopefully, that's what the little chilies was about, that they're going to trade Dylan. And then my question would be, oh, so you ready to capitalize off the deep discount, but not necessarily to win it all, but just enough to get you out of here so I can get whoever I want next year. Now they saying Mendoza from Indiana. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to talk about who they get next year. I just want Shedeur to get somewhere else. Actually, what we should want is for the owners to stop colluding. So while they are trying to find a way to absolve the owners from colluding against Shedeur, I just want the owners to stop colluding against Shedeur. Maybe the way to be absolved of the crime is to stop committing, right? It's not going to help you to keep looking for ways to not be wrong, but you're still doing wrong. Understand, that's who's standing against Shedeur. The owner, like Haslam, and the others. Indiana needed a quarterback, right? Why they ain't get Shedeur? When Richardson was hurt, they could have got Shedeur. So don't let the little lady running out there distract you from the fact that they all in on it. The owners are excessively close. The only one I ain't sure they care about is the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, because they saddled Trevor Lawrence there till 2029, 2030. So, all right, let's get back to these comments. Don't forget to shop what's new. I dropped something new for the fellas. I dropped something new for the unisex crew. A new hat, a new shirt. Check it out. New hoodies. Check it out. And we got something coming. We have some bottoms coming. I'm excited. So they come in, y'all know I'm showing them to you. And I got something in the mail right now. I need to go get that later too. My camouflage hoodie with Auntie on the back, with the 12 on the front and the back, and the Shedeur on the front. Yeah. Oh, it says Shedeur on the front with the 12 on the back that say Auntie. I think that came in today. I got to go pick that up from our mail room as well. So stay tuned. Go to whatshesaidsports.com and check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. All right. So we got new stuff every week. That's just the thing. I was getting ready to say like Marshalls, but no. We better than that. And I used to be a Marshalls fan, but we better than that. We better than that. All right. Hey Nikki, how you doing? It said, yes, you are correct. It said chocolate is $22 to $26. Lord, geez. Wow. Hey there, Harry. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It said, oh wow, is Miles gone? I don't know if he gone yet, but he ready to go. Miles Garrett is packed. He mentally packed. I think Shedeur mentally packed. He just not letting on. It said he want to win. Yeah, and I love the fact that Miles Garrett said, I didn't resign here to become a scapegoat. In other words, y'all not going to play with me, because they were definitely trying to find somebody to blame other than Stefanski. It's already Barry. It's already Mike Tomlin. And then they were saying Miles Garrett wasn't already that good. They had already said that. He said, I'm not here to be no scapegoat. So he might make it over there to Philly. And I think Clutch Sports might have a case, because I know that he didn't sign that contract blind. I wanted to leave because you were deficient. How are you going to overcome the deficiency? And I'm sure that was an Andrew Berry conversation. And who is every day when he up there kissing up to Dylan that he's in control, not Barry. Stefanski. I told y'all Stefanski is the one that's going to get everybody roped up, because he is trying to let you know. He is trying to take that hood off so you can see who he is and what he believes and how he moves and how he not going to get in trouble, because he got protection. He's trying. He ain't hiding it. Haslam ain't hiding it either. He just hiding behind Stefanski. It said, I hope Shedeur doesn't go to Philly. He going to go somewhere where he can't play. It said Haslam doesn't like problematic slaves. He don't, yeah, none of them do. None of them do. It said he kept Miles from setting the NFL record, right? And Miles said, look, If we're trying to win, then I need to be out there. Is he wrong? And didn't they do that to Saquon Barkley in Philly? Saquon could have met a record or something like that. And they said, well, he might get injured and we need him for the Super Bowl or something like that. I'm like, well, if he can't, I think he needed 100 yards. I'm like, if he can't run 100 yards, he ain't going to be available for the Super Bowl. If you that worried about him, that he can't go out there and run 100 yards between 2 to 3 plays, knowing Saquon Barkley too, then he ain't going to make it to the Super Bowl. Here's the message. We didn't pay you to think. We didn't pay you to want to get the accolades. They don't want them with them accolades. They don't want Shedeur to have all of the records and winning all of the games. No. I want that from a white quarterback. These are people that would rather die and flatline than get CPR from a black man or a black woman. Haslam is trying to be like Jerry Jones. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. That crown of the day. That's it. I said it. He took a Jerry Jones masterclass. I can see it after reading Turf Wars. And even Jerry Jones referred to one of the owners. And I thought he was talking about Cleveland, but maybe he was talking about the other owner. But understand this. They all know each other before they get to the NFL. Billionaires got a group. You know, it's a t-shirt that say the Billionaire Boys Club. Okay, it's a t-shirt, but it's also a reality. Hey, you want to buy you want to buy the Browns? I could talk to somebody. Yeah. Yeah, because you know, you got your family business. They already was in oil and gas, technically, with diesel fuel. They done elevated from that by selling that off to Berkshire Hathaway 2023, buying a pure energy company. And now they own 3,400 wells. This game, this just child's play. This just for their grandkids. Jerry is 83. He trying to get to the 100 billion. Not for himself, I did it. But it's going to go to his family to make sure that whatever ideology they have continues on after he expires. Have them too. These people, they don't care about these teams. They care about digging in the ground and dominating when it comes to the export game for fuel, natural fuel. That's where they get excited. They look down upon this, but it's almost like, hey, I need you. I know you're probably not interested, but I need you to get the Browns. Why would they need him to get the Browns? To keep the ideology going. Because if there's a black owner and they get to vote on it, they're going to all vote against that black owner. Unless they go get a black owner that they feel like they can control. And I'm going to be honest with you. They don't want that. That's why you got all of these black limited partnership owners popping up at the bottom, hitting a ceiling. But they have zero voice. So we'll take your money and then you get to go tell your friends you part owner, limited partner in one of these teams and you're going to help bring, you know, people to the game, but you're going to watch me abuse Shedeur. You're going to watch me manipulate Myles Garrett. You're going to watch me hold McKinley Jackson hostage because you can't say nothing. And we ain't finna let you be no owners. We'll take your cash. You know what they do? If they put up, I think Woodson put up $5 million, that's liquid capital for Haslam to go run out here and buy a yacht. Or whatever. So they taking their money, but they don't have a voice. But they're used for optics. They got this game down pat. It's the same thing they do to Andrew Berry, the black Harvard grad. And they did the same thing to the black Harvard grad before Andrew Berry. And they have the same skin tone. The brown paper bag. And I went and got Charles Woodson at the Vegas Super Bowl, but activated him right before I discriminated and devalued Shiloh Sanders and robbed him of $40 million. And he can't say nothing. While Kevin Stefanski with me hiding behind him, lashes him every day. And they say black people don't stick together because they manufacture it so we don't stick together. But we do stick together. And we call out those who stand by and watch. See, they can control them. And they think they can use them to control us. No, it has never worked that way. Whenever on the plantation was Stephen from the Django respected by the slaves and they did what the hell he said because they trusted him? No, that's where they got it wrong. That's why when I see Myles Garrett speaking up, preserving his reputation, pushing back, McKinley Jackson, trade me or release me. See, they never thought the players would say, I'm going to retire. That's the biggest flex in the world because they think they can't do it without white benevolence. That we know you're not going to make it out there in the world on your own. So you're going to stay here and do it for this money. But they have leverage when they say, trade me or release me. That's a flex. And honestly, Shedeur get to the point because they don't think he going to ever say it. You should have already come to realize they don't want him gone. They want him there because cruelty is the goal. Cruelty, humiliation, like in the draft, happening in Cleveland. That's the whole point of us drafting you in the first place. We knew you wanted to come here. We lured you in. We wanted you to come to Green Bay, but you escaped that. But we still got you with that call, but we got exposed. And now we got to figure out a way to clean our hands of that. And we know you over here making this money. And you should know that they don't like that. If they don't even want him to play quarterback, you think they want him to make $15 million off of him when the whole purpose of locking him out of the first round and pushing him to 144 was to make sure he didn't get $12 million this year or $8 million, and he got damn near twice that? Shedeur is winning. So think long and hard before you say you want him to ask for a trade. Because one, it comes with negative consequences, and two, he's winning. They have cut him multiple times and can't. So the biggest flex, since they holding on to him for dear life for reasons that most people not aware of, because if I let him go, he going to go out here and thrive. He might go start his own league with his daddy. If I gave Travis Hunter his contract on a Sunday because he went fishing with Coach Prime, what the hell you think going to happen with Coach Prime's son? They know Coach Prime got leverage in the game. And Colorado fool around and let Coach Prime go and give him $44 million? Well, that's just capital for a lot of things. Like Coach Prime said, after the whole cancer situation, oh, I can't take it with you. He was thinking of buying 200 more acres. You could do a lot with that. You can build a whole goddamn stadium. It don't have to be 60,000 CHO don't. But you can own your own. You can build a stadium that look like they got over there at Alabama State or somewhere. Like, they got a nice stadium, by the way. Maybe some of the other schools that are not as big, but and you start your own league. He said it. He said he's thinking of getting 200 more acres. So if they want to buy him out for $47 million, I don't think he's going to cry. I don't think he's going to cry at all. I think the NFL wants Shedeur to believe every day, oh, they're going to cut me. They're going to cut me. He ain't thinking like that. He out here making his music. He back on his Twitch. He's staying up there to get his treatment so he can be big ready to combat any of the bullshit that they are planning to do with him. And if Andrew Berry ever sees this post, you need to use your melanin for good and send that young man a text and let him know when he going to play. Because they're going to fire you anyway. So you might as well pull a Isaac Newsom and protect Shedeur like Isaac Newsom protected Lamar Jackson. Use that melanin for good. It said that's diabolical because Myles wants Shedeur to play because he sees it in practice. Right. Exactly. It's retaliation. I mean, honestly, the first thing they want to fire Andrew Berry, and then they want to fire push out Myles Garrett, and now they want to fire Mike Tomlin. They don't want to let Shedeur go nowhere. See, that ought to tell you right there, Shedeur got leverage. I don't even think they want him to get up and leave the league. I don't. They just want him to be scared. They're going to kick him out. I wouldn't even care if I don't even play. Because my jersey is apparently still out here selling. And I'm going to get that money. Shedeur could end up making more money in 4 years from his jersey sales alone than he could from his contract. And I meant the $46 million. It could happen. It could happen. I'm getting ready to tell you exactly how much he was supposed to make this year. See, people get wide-eyed and bushy-tailed when they hear, oh, you got a $46 million contract. First of all, it ain't guaranteed. The first person's is maybe a lot of the first rounders, but not necessarily. All right, Travis Hunter got a 4-year, $46 million rookie contract with the Jacksonville guarantee that is fully guaranteed. That's what Shedeur was supposed to get. It's that the deal includes a record-setting, because Travis pushed for it, $30.57 million signing bonus that was paid up front. So it's sitting comfortably in his bank. That's huge because a lot of players don't even have that. And that's when he went to Coach Prime. That's what he ended up with on a Sunday. It said making him the first non-quarterback to not be the first overall pick to receive his entire signing bonus at once, because he went fishing with Coach Prime on a Sunday, and he got this contract on a Sunday. It said the contract structure includes increasing base salaries and roster bonus with a 5th-year option for the Jaguars to exercise before it gets to 2028. Travis Hunter is one of those players that I could see him walking away from the game in 4 years, because I think today was the first day I heard they are finally supposed to let him play the majority of the game at wide receiver 1, but he's going to play both sides of in the game. So he's going to get what he came for, to play both sides, but he's going to play wide receiver 1 more so. In other words, none of that taking him out of the game at critical times, this, that, and the other. So that's a change, because they were on a downward path with looking like they were trying to go in on him. Now, I will caution. I will caution. He has gotten his way and haven't given them whatever the hell it is that they wanted, whether it's some LGBTQ patch or refuse to allow them to chastise him because he decided to turn to God, because unfortunately that seems to offend some in the NFL, and that's a whole nother conversation. That they don't use this opportunity for him to get hurt. They should want to win, but taking him out of the game at pivotal moments, critical moments, shows you they didn't want to win with him as the star. They wanted to win with Trevor as the star, but that ain't gonna work out. So maybe we need to win, because people were asking, why did you get Travis at number 2 if you're not using him? I said to block Shedeur. They took more pleasure, because Travis could have went number 1 overall, because isn't it obvious that Tennessee didn't want Cam? So that meant that Tennessee could have traded that pick to Jacksonville. But no, the Browns had to be the one, because why? They gave Travis Shedeur's $46 million, fully guaranteed, with a $30 million signing bonus, whether it was paid up front or not. And Shedeur, all he got was Travis's jersey number. They made sure it went down that way, when Travis should have went number 1 with the pick from Tennessee, trading with Jacksonville. Because how many times in Tennessee they want to trade that pick? They didn't decide to keep that pick till the Friday or the Thursday before draft week. Cruelty against Shiloh Sanders was the point for Travis to be the number 2 pick. He should have been the number 1 pick with the trade. And why Tennessee didn't want him? So, hold on one second right fast. I think people said they thought Shedeur made between 12. We don't know how much he really made, because they don't disclose the percentage, but it was discussed that 250 million in jerseys were sold early on, right? Early on. So if that's the case, people just kind of did the math, but the true percentage has never been disclosed as to what it is. And the way that they get their contracts paid, Travis's contract is fully guaranteed. He got the 30 million sitting in his bank, but the money he makes, his base salary, it escalates. So it could start at 8 million this year and then go to 10 million next year and 12 million the year after that, up until it hits the total. And then there's the 5th year option. And he could come back. And I think by then they probably will offer Travis probably about 330 million if he can get the opportunity to consistently ball out. I think he'll get better than Josh Allen, in my opinion. Because that's going to be somewhere around 2028. So, that's what I think. So they didn't want to give that to Shedeur. Understand? Hey, how you doing? It says Stefanski golf buddies are Dylan and Bartonio, right? So explain this to me, since they golf buddies, right? If they're golf buddies, why was Dylan getting pummeled with Bartonio resting? What the hell is he resting for at the beginning of the season? And y'all ain't even planning to go to the playoffs. What was he resting for? I question that. I'm like, Dylan, you might be amongst the enemy. Because that's kind of weird, right? You don't think that that's kind of weird to let Dylan throw 52 snaps? Bartonio supposedly was on rest unless he actually got into the game. But he was listed as vet resting. I'm like, it's the beginning of the season. I would expect them to have used that against Shedeur. So we're going to see. I believe the owner Haslam will keep Shedeur hostage to sell season tickets. He don't want to sell season tickets or nothing else with Shiloh Sanders. No. That stadium don't open till 2029, right? When is Manning coming out of school? 2027 at the latest? That's who's selling the tickets. And they got people out here showing that they paid $23,000 and now it's going up $105,000. They don't need Shedeur. They don't even want Shedeur to be a part of that process. It wouldn't surprise me if when they had their little conversations about, well, let's, instead of Jacksonville trading with Tennessee, let's just go ahead and use Cleveland so we don't have to pay Shedeur. Just like all the other teams that block Shedeur. But what's happening? Karma. All those other teams that block Shedeur are struggling. And the one that's not struggling is the Steelers, and they still trying to get rid of their coach. Blame the black guy. So it's not just Haslam doesn't want black leadership. I go, what about Barry? I'm like, y'all forgot y'all tried to fire him last week? They can't even say that no more. And they can't talk about Deshaun Watson no more because I got that argument ready. I don't even hear him even saying that no more. It said, so I think he's going to keep Shedeur hostage because that's what the owners have decided. Until the owners can figure out how they are not responsible for colluding against Shedeur, because there's lawsuits out here, you would think they would stop. But arrogance says, fine, I'll fix this. Just fix it. That should tell you that they can't cut him yet. Because the easiest way to move off of that is to push him out the league. That's what a corporation would do. A corporation would be like, we try to discriminate against him, get him out of here. Yeah, that's what they know. That's what corporations do all the time. They just get rid of people that, could sue them. So that's what I mean by stuck on stupid. You don't want me here, but you can't get rid of me either. So Shedeur has leverage. So maybe that's why he out here being himself, just like Myles Garrett is speaking his truth, because they have leverage. Something Damari Smith said the NFL is afraid of. The NFL is afraid of players like McKinley Jackson saying, trade me or release me. In other words, I ain't got to play no more. They afraid of that for black players because they want you to be so thirsty that you'll do anything. The more educated you are, the less likely that is to be the case. NIL makes it so that that's even less likelier to be the case. Imagine coming into the draft with $8 million in the bank. A lot of them gonna be like Shedeur. Yeah. Like Myles Garrett. I ain't come here for this. Speaking my piece. It said they have to trade Dylan Gabriel or Sanders by next week. Yes, next Tuesday by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After the 4th, you can't do anything. Okay, so let's see. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. What do you think the whole palling around as couples was about? You think it means that Dylan has a future, which I think he does, or somebody does in Cleveland, or do you think it was a goodbye? Another team is interested in you, like Miami, and we thought you was gonna hang out with us, but hey, let me know if you need anything. All right, we'll get the wives to talk, and me, you will talk. You know, let me know what y'all think, because I'm not 100% sure that Dylan is the one that's not getting traded. I kind of little, it's a little, I got some this much, because he was the one that set up for it. He's the one that's been evaluated. I know what they said, but I'm looking at what they're doing. It's like, oh, Shedeur gonna play the last 4 games. Why you put that out here? Because you knew the trade deadline was coming, and you letting us know that you ain't traded him. He ain't scared to be traded. That's not even a threat. That's fun. So you didn't put it out there with the number 12 with the little kids behind you. You didn't do that to shake Shedeur out of his boots. In fact, that was an affront to Dylan to say, oh, that's Stefanski's boy, without having to insult Dylan. But that's what it was. And then now they're supposedly out here breaking bread. And Andrew Berry hiding because he's working on something. So I'm not convinced Dylan will still be there, because his trade value is trash. They would have to quid pro quo a trade for him just to get him the hell out of Cleveland. And then Cleveland could get somebody else and still play the game with Shedeur. It don't have to be Dylan. But because Dylan ain't working out. And I felt like when they went and got the undrafted free agent, they just went and got another Dylan. They didn't go get another Shedeur, which told you they didn't want to win. They didn't care about winning. That's what that message was. That's why I said, Shedeur, if you ever see this podcast, let the chips fall where they may. Whatever getting ready to happen from this moment you see this video on to end. And because God got to fight this battle. You can't fight this battle. There's nothing you can do. Just let the chips fall where they may. And you might realize you can fly. Don't even worry about it. Because that's the best feeling in the world. It's that folk need to check out the powerful interview that the People Podcast with Joshua Muhammad did on Coach Prime and Black athletes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Donald. It said it just went off. Delaware State won. Okay. HBCUs don't need a DJ. Thank you. I was like, what is happening here? And I asked that question early on. And then I noticed the bands was playing like loud. All you could hear was brass. And I know what that means. And I was like, and then the DJ got louder and the girl that was filming was talking about it. And I was like, is the DJ at war trying to drown out the HBCU band? I didn't like that. Because that means you don't respect HBCU culture. We don't need bands. It's that little girl be like, hold this stream down, chat. Yep, facts. I trust y'all. Thank y'all so much. There's an NFL team that might be willing to offer a first-round pick for Shedeur. What you think the owner's going to say about that? That would be the remedy for the mess that they made. But his contract going to have to get fixed, or some money going to need to magically pop up. I'm going to tell you something right now. He can get out there and ball out. They go to Super Bowl and win. I'm going to be over here tomorrow. Now, when he going to get his money? Because I know you exploiting him. Because Andrew Berry said it. We got him for a deep discount. Oops. So if he was discounted, you know how much he cost originally. Yeah. And now you over here acting like you don't know who he is. That's fraud. And the owners are the ones that took him off the board saying he wasn't good. So if he get out here and he good, or somebody thinks he's good and offer a first round pick, I don't even see the owners allowing that to happen unless they ready to stop colluding. When they ready to stop colluding, you will know. To me, they should have already stopped, because it's going to get worse and worse. See, they thought there would be no blowback. People are still blowing back since the damn draft, and it's going to continue. And now, instead of the fans withering away and Shedeur is being isolated and they kicking on him in the dark, you got other players like Myles Garrett speaking up, and they don't want that. Jerry Jeudy spoke up. They don't want that. They think Jerry Jeudy's scared because they want to trade him. Shout out to Jerry Jeudy. Denzel Ward spoke up. They don't want that to continue. So, you know what? Get Myles Garrett out of here. Okay. And somebody else going to see that's how you get out of Cleveland, and they going to speak. That's what I think Flacco did. Hanging out with Shedeur, knowing they're like, we don't want that. You can't force grown people into you. Not everybody. You're gonna always get a fool here or there, but you're not going to convince every single person to go along with your foolishness. They just not gonna say that, but they're gonna go tell other people about it. And that's what tell-all books come from. If Dylan crash out this game, it's over. That's what we said the last time. I'm telling you, they will let Dylan lose to keep Shedeur on the bench. But there has to come a time where the owners are done colluding with Shedeur because they have tried to kick him out the league and he is still there. We're gonna see what guy. That's where we at. The page we are on in this podcast, at this point, we just waiting to see what God gonna do. Because that's what it's gonna be. I don't care what the Browns think they're gonna do. We're gonna see what God's will is for this situation. That's the page we on. That's the page we on. They said Edward, tell us who the team is. Tina said, Donald Muhammad, I found it. I will watch it later. Okay, Donald. So people have found the link to Tina, if you want to share it in the chat, you should be able to. The video that Donald Muhammad was talking about regarding Coach Prime and athlete, I think he said black athletes. To leave some more, it said the DJ at the HBCU game. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Facts. I'm like, are you trying to drive out an HBCU band? I was like, at one point, are they both playing the same song to drown out the DJ? Is this really happening? I'm like, just play this at home next time. It was nice. That's cool. Whatever. They said that about the classic in Memphis. They had the Southern Heritage Classic. I think the stadium was under construction, so you couldn't really move around. They talking about next time, just play this on campus. I agree. We don't need that. We don't. When you look at the numbers of HBCU attendance, bro, we don't need that. We don't need that at all. Hey, family, what's good? How you doing? How you doing? Donald says a very powerful interview. Ina Davis says something we all need to listen to and take heed. Okay, all right. It said, oh my gosh, Shiloh does everything. That's what Coach Prime said. Coach Prime said Shiloh can do anything he wants to do. And I totally agree. I'd love to see Shiloh coach at an HBCU. I like, you know what I really want? I want him to keep up with this content thing. I want him to go to Jackson State games. I want him to go to the Celebration Bowl. I want him to go to the SWAC championship tonight or tomorrow. He should be at Edward Waters for their broadcast. So that puts him back into the HBCU pipeline. But I want Shiloh to go to his, because he graduated from Jackson State. I want to see him do. They would love that. Remember Shiloh's touchdown celebration was the drum majors? Man, they would go crazy to have Shiloh come back, right? Like, so, I don't know. We'll see. But then again, maybe all the people he went to school with are gone. I don't know. Some of them are still there. They might be juniors and seniors by now. But I just think it would be, that's where he went to college. He's big on the HBCUs, just like Shedeur. They big on Jackson State. And they're doing really well. So I think if they get, they go to the SWAC championship game. And if they win that, they go to the Celebration Bowl. And he should go to both of those. I'm already planning to go to the Celebration Bowl. I think I'm just out on this PWI football. I'm out on this NFL. It's more fun for me to watch competitive HBCU football. It is. And it's at that level. They have made it to that level, right? So, you know, that's what it is. I'm not trying to be stressed out watching football. It's supposed to be fun. It said, hey, family, in and out, but still here. We'll be back permanently soon. Don't forget to hit the likes. It said, Miami Dolphins getting clobbered by Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Love y'all. Oh, I heard LaJohntay was active, but Derek McClendon was still on the practice squad. So does anybody know if LaJohntay had a chance to ball out tonight? Let me know. All right, I'm finna finish up these comments and we're gonna wrap it up. And I guess maybe if the game is still on, or I'll go watch the highlights. Hey Freeman, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Terry said, I enjoyed listening to her New Orleans voice. That's funny because I really be fighting back that New Orleans accent. I'm like, okay, this accent is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't know. All I did was change the side of the Mississippi River I'm on. My goodness. And don't let me listen to somebody. Like, there's this content creator named Lolly. She's from New Orleans. Her accent is heavy. And when I mean heavy, like a ton heavy, she's in Japan and she's been there. She might be home now, but she was there for like 2 weeks. If I watched one of her posts or watched 1 or 2 of her posts, oh my God. I'm like, okay, I got to keep going, right? So it said Miles trade retaliation for his outburst. That wasn't no outburst, but you saying he's being retaliated against? Oh, you talking about not his outburst. You talking about slamming down the helmet? No, that's not why they try to get rid of Myles Garrett. They trying to get rid of Myles Garrett because he's pro Shedeur. They're trying to get rid of Myles Garrett because he's wanting to hold the team accountable. And Stefanski is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, lose this year. And they already have the number 1 pick. Yes, you can. Yes, Tina. That's fine. It said John is the most trash coach there is, and they have him in place to hold Lamar back. Right. That's what people don't understand. The coaches that they pick are supposed to do their bidding. I want you to look. There's no coincidence that Pat Schumer operates the way he does, and so does Stefanski, and so does the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. And I told y'all, don't be surprised if the kid whose father got hit with the fine for the phone number for Shedeur, that I don't think none of that was true, becomes the head coach of the Falcons. Do not be surprised. They keep bringing his name up. How many games do you know they just constantly talking about the defensive coordinator? Oh, he's done a good job with this defense. Yeah, he did. Yep. Who's the defensive coordinator for the Steelers? That's my point. Who's the defensive coordinator? I bet y'all know this. Who's the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs? Who's the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints? Who's the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans? Who is the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles? That might be the one that you know. Just let me know. Because we don't normally know who the defensive coordinator is. We know who the offensive coordinator is. I know who the offensive coordinator is for the Falcons. I know he need to be fired. I know he came out of Pat Schumer's school of OC play calling. I can tell you that. I bet he know personally Kevin Stefanski. That's why there's no black offensive coordinators. I can't take down these quarterbacks with no black OC because they gonna tell. Yeah, we gonna tell. We're gonna be like, you tried to do this. That's why there's no black OCs. It's not just because they don't want black people. No. I need to protect and guard the secrets. I don't want no black coaches either. That's why I want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. If I have all white coaches and all white coordinators and all white QB coaches and all white GMs, I can do what the hell I want to do to the majority black players until the players get like McKinley Jackson and say, trade me or release me and show I have no fear with retiring early. See that little trend that was happening at the beginning of this year? I loved it. I'm like, yes, this is what needs to happen. Show them you're not scared to say goodbye. Yeah. Then they're going to come crawling back. I wouldn't even want to go back, though. Start your own. All them coaches on the hot seat, not just Steelers. It said Mike Tomlin ain't going nowhere. He better not. Hi, Chad. How you doing? Hey, Chandra. How you doing? Catching up with the replay. Okay. Welcome. It said they can't clean that up. Yeah, you talking about the owners taking Shedeur off the board? Right. There's no justifiable reason. They believe the way out is not to talk about it until Shedeur is gone. And we're not going to talk about it. Just Bury Shedeur over there. Don't let him play, because if he get out there and ball out, then people gonna be like, now what happened? They're gonna do that anyway. Everything they thought was gonna happen is not happening. The teams that passed on him, that colluded against him, that blocked him with the Geno Smiths and the Daniel Joneses and or whatever. Okay, they might be doing good, but Cam Newton said the success for the Colts is the running back, and he should be on the MVP list. Taylor. Somebody else said it. These running backs are propping up these quarterbacks that they brought in that are not good. Anybody notice Cam Scatterboo got injured, so he can't prop up you know who? Gruesome injury, by the way. Get well soon, Cam Scatterboo. It's going to be interesting because I'm seeing karma. Yeah. First, they lost Malik Neighbors, who was over there hanging out with Russell Wilson and them at Sierra's birthday party. They was over there dancing and having fun, right? I mean, what they going to do? He can't play. Cam Scatterboo, they were relying heavily on him. They were talking about Jackson Dart this. When Cam Scatterboo scored 3 touchdowns, he was the leader of the team. And they were using Cam to prop up Dart. And now Cam is out hurt. Now they done pushed Spencer Rattler out the way. And they want him to cry in the dark. And he was like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm happy to support the team. I'm like, oh, I love Russell Wilson. That's the right attitude. That's the right attitude. Don't let these people see you sweat. And don't let them think that you have to be here. Let them know that you're willing to pack up and go. Trade me or release me. And like Travis, go get your money. And now everybody has a leg to stand on to go get their signing bonus up front, because everybody did not get a $30 million signing bonus. I don't even know if Cam Ward got his signing bonus up front. But it happened because Travis went fishing with Coach Prime, because it happened on a Sunday after Travis went fishing with Coach Prime. So what you think the leverage will be for Shedeur to get his just due? We shall see. I love the position the Sanders men have. We just gonna have to regroup. In other words, we ain't worried about this. I love Shedeur living his life. I love the fact that Shiloh is thriving. This is his lane. Do I want them to start their own league? Yeah, I do. Because I don't want to watch that no more. I'd rather go watch HBCU football and until Coach Prime and them could get a league. Because I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be competitive. I know they're not going to be discriminated against because they're Black. I know Coach Prime is going to get people who are talented. And I know people are going to show up and show out for it. And that's what needs to happen. In fact, that's what needs to happen based on what happened to Shedeur, Shiloh, and Coach Prime in the draft. That's fitting for them to end up with their own league and they are successful. The other one will still exist because there will always be people that will run out there and for the likes of me, I don't know why, pay ungodly amounts of money to not be entertained. Let them keep those people because you want quality. I don't think going down the line, there's going to be quality over there. Not if there's a product that Coach Prime creates. The quality will exist with the Sanders Primetime Football League. Yeah. And with them digging in the dirt and caring about oil wells and natural gas wells, this is the perfect opportunity because they don't care about the football part. They just don't want to let control of it go. That's all that's about. And they just want to have some, they use it to stay relevant and out front, like a celebrity, and power and influence and control and submission. So it goes from being good to being ugly. $53% of NFL is African-American. It's not a color thing, but they are definitely mistreating him. Oh, it's beyond a color thing. It's a melanin thing. It's the amount of melanin. It's about being visibly Black. It's about having 2 Black parents. And somebody told me today, I've been asking, what's the deal with Jordan Love? Why they keep gravitating towards him? His mother's white. I told you. I said it must be something. And I knew that was the something. I'm like, what the hell is it? And somebody looked it up. They said something happened to his father when he was young. His father was African-American. So no, it's definitely a color thing. And for people to want to Jedi mind trick themselves into believing that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Oh, okay. When it happened in your life, you're gonna know exactly what it is. So don't worry about it. Because if you blind to it happening to somebody else, oh, it's gonna happen to you. In fact, you're gonna walk right into it because it's not about color. Okay. I keep thinking that. All right. So they want to bring back, right. They keep wanting to bring him back so bad. I'm like, you know what? I do it. Because you're gonna lose some people. You're gonna lose some people. What they are trying to do is happening in broader society. Look at who aligns with whom and how gross and ugly it could be, but I can profit off of it. Or I can do what I want. That's what they're trying to do. The same thing. Who is TJ? It said they took Miles out because he could have broken another record. Yep, they did. They did. And like he said, he didn't come to be a scapegoat. I'm glad Miles is speaking up. Me too. I mean, that's really it, right? We need more of that, right? And these guys have to know how to use their leverage. And it seems like Russell Wilson speaking out. That you had the Browns players was already speaking out about Shedeur. And you have no idea, how that they feed off of each other like that. That's what they don't want. That's why they will probably find a way to trade Myles Garrett so they could put their thumb and their foot on everybody else's neck. If I'm Jerry Judy, yeah, trade me. It's crazy. All they want to trash is the wide receiver. I'm like, all the problems y'all got over there between the O-line and the head coach and Dylan, and all you could blame is Myles Garrett and the wide receivers. These people are not trying to win football games, but they want to be in control of a black dominant sport. That's all this is. If football were like hockey, they wouldn't even care because they don't even care. You see them trying to own those teams? Do you see any of them beating down the door trying to get one of those teams? No. It's the thrill of owning a black dominant sport. That's what's wrong with the WNBA right now. That's why having a league owned by two WNBA players is more exciting to watch. And it's freer to actually make decisions based on winning and growing the league. That ain't not what the WNBA is doing. And the NBA, they so saddled with the whole betting thing, not the scandal, but the partnerships with the betting apps. The NFL got that too. See, when you partner with these betting apps, they pour all this money into you. So you dealing with the money, you like, they just pushing money all down your throat while they trash your league. And now you got to go before Congress. But nobody in NFL has to go before Congress about anything that happened in that draft. Nobody has been even held accountable, including Daboll, for what happened in that draft. Nobody is even trying to hold Stefanski or Haslam accountable for the gross discrimination of Shedeur Sanders, the dehumanization of Shedeur Sanders. But the NBA got to go before Congress. Nobody even thought a congressional hearing would be used for accountability at all this year, for obvious reasons. So they blinded by the Amazons and these networks throwing money at them to the point the NBA has said, you know what, we'll just be a league of highlights. People just watch the highlights. Yeah. They don't even care if you don't even show up. Because I get the money from the TV deals. They just like the NFL now. It's like, I don't care about that. You ain't got to show up. They used to care when you show up. They don't care about the empty seats no more. Because I make money from the betting partners and I make money from the networks that want to show the product. I don't care if the seat's empty because you're just going to watch the highlights anyway. And I'm going to make money from that too. Fellas, got to own your own. One thing about Jerry, he really wants to win. And he knows how to draft an O-line. Jerry Jones not trying to win nothing. He said it out of his own mouth. He not even trying to fix the defense. Jerry Jones is not trying to win at all. And here's the thing. People have known that for a long time. He even said, I'm talking to you on the telephone rather than worrying about fixing the defense for the Cowboys. See, if I'm a Cowboys fan and I read that, I'm not going there no more. I'll go to a museum or to the park or somewhere, church, anywhere, home, just anywhere. Because we talking 3 to 4, 5 hours max from parking to the beginning to the end, back to your car and out of traffic. That's 5 hours that you can't get back, that you wasted it on somebody that's not putting together a product to compete, who says it out loud and you still gonna show up and pay for it. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's what they want for fans. So number 75, old stick legs are going out. He's gonna retire. Let's see what happens in these last 4 games if Shedeur actually gets in. I need to catch TJ switching up. TJ is switching up. Wasn't he on nightcap? Wasn't he on nightcap with Shannon and Ocho at one point? TJ Hausman. I think, yeah. Okay, I might have to watch that. Shedeur has not been given a fair chance. And if Stefanski is not fired, why would that change? Right. It's facts. Facts. That's all we try to tell people. Like, they're not even trying to hold him accountable. They'd rather fire Andrew Berry than fire Stefanski. Stefanski was the one that drafted Dillon, but they want to fire Andrew Berry. A few weeks ago, they were singing Andrew Berry's praises because all the picks that he brought in are good. Now, Jerry Judy's trash. Isaiah Bond is trash. Isaiah Bond got hit in the head in his helmet by Dillon throwing the ball. But he trash. They deserve each other. And get all my guys out of here. That's all I can say. They want an all-white team? Good. All right, good for the black players. The white players need to speak out. That's all I'm going to say. Just let the black players go because, y'all don't want them anyway. And if the white ones don't say nothing, then don't send the black ones there. Just let them have an all-white team if they just all going to be silent about what's happening to the black players. Just let the black players go play football somewhere else. Because if you don't want the black players, then what's the point, right? And if the white players don't speak up, then why the black players got to be there at all? Because you don't want them. You blame the black guy. Hashtag blame the black guy. That's all that's happening right now. They want to blame Caleb. They want to blame Cam. Spencer Rattler, it just blamed the black guy. That's what it is, people. Barry made a chess move for Shedeur. Trade Pickett, traded Flacco. That put pressure on Dillon and Kevin. Shedeur is Barry's pick, so Kevin is not playing him. It's GM against head coach. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's the owner against the GM. And the owner and the head coach are working together against the GM that they used as a patsy. And that's why we don't see Andrew Berry, because he's busy and he also knows that they try to fire him. You're going to see him, though, because the trade deadline is Tuesday. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm sure I'm going to pop up live somewhere. I'm sure I'm going to pop up live, and don't be surprised if Dillon is the one. Because here's the thing. You need to trade Dillon, right? You need to trade Dillon. Shedeur only going to play 4 games. And if you didn't care about him after the Panthers game, you're not going to care about him after those games. It's just going to work for him to be traded somewhere else, and maybe the pressure will ease up on the NFL about Shedeur. Now, who knows what's going to happen when he get on the other side, but the point is that you can steal your first pick that you don't have to tank for because you already got it for Travis to get Mendoza if you want to ruin his career, because in 2027, you're going to get Arch Manning. So I don't know who career you're going to ruin with that first pick, or if you're going to trade that first pick to Miami to get somebody else and bench Tua. But since you owe him money till 2027, I mean, it could happen, right? And Shiloh said he was moving to Miami, so I don't know what made him choose Miami. But after Shedeur plays 1 game, because I don't know if he's going to play all 4, or I don't know how that's going to go, he could get traded to Miami because the thought process could be the same. We'll send him to Miami and send Quinn Ewers probably to Cleveland or somewhere else. And then we'll just put Shedeur behind Tua. And Shedeur just got to wait until Tua fall out. And then he'll be in Miami with Shiloh. I don't know what made Shiloh pick Miami. He don't seem to have no roots there or anything like that, but I don't know, but he did. And he was serious about having room for his brother, not his sister, his brother. So I don't know. And a lot of people push for Shedeur to go to Miami. So we gonna see. That's the beauty of it. One thing about it, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Tuesday coming. And it's gonna be like this. At 4 o'clock, gonna go real fast. So I'm gonna be on Tuesday. I'm gonna be on the lookout, and we're gonna be listening to things. But I just kind of the little voice inside of me that say Dylan might be the one, because he the only one that was evaluated. And it's the only thing that makes sense that Boitano would be vet resting at the beginning of the season, and Dylan looks awful. And then Stefanski takes them out to dinner and let the girls talk while Dylan and Stefanski talk, and Stefanski sell him a pipe dream that, the Jets looking for a quarterback and they say they want to get you. And, I like you and everything, but, you might actually might want to take that deal. Nah, I could just be reading a novel, but I could see it because the way that they misused him, right? People say it looked like a war that they moved out Flacco. But understand this, Flacco was always temporary. They just moved him out earlier than anticipated. And don't forget, the 2 picks they expended to get Shedeur, they got back with Flacco and Pickett. And they signed Pickett and Flacco instead of Shedeur. And then they got Dylan. So basically, they never had to draft Dylan. Dylan was drafted for the sole purposes of holding Shedeur back. But he's not the guy. You know this because they brought in another undrafted free agent to try out. So Tuesday is coming. All right, so we're going to get ourselves out of here. This was an excellent conversation. I feel like as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, it's going to be some conversations to be had. I sure hate that one of my favorite Buffalo Bills players, they trying to kick him out. Keon Coleman, he's not the guy. They just out here just running rim shot over these players. Like the guy that had to retire for a medical emergency, Jordan, I think he was the quarterback that broke his leg for Florida State. He came out and said yesterday that owner Woody, the one that's trying to raise the prices and was mean to that's disrespectful to Justin Fields, he said that man told him to his face, "So are you just ever gonna be healthy?" You knew what happened when he got drafted. So he had to retire. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.